And we are live, gentlemen. It is the 12th of December. We are finally into the countdown for Christmas. How we feeling?
Just now? The
Are
12th?
the gifts? Yeah, 12 days to Christmas.
I don't.
What?
I mean, you've been counting down Christmas since November 1st, so.
Yeah, I mean Halloween. I mean shit. Let's be real. 4th of July.
Shit.
4th of July.
I love
be
Christmas.
honest.
Christmas
I got
time.
gifts already wrapped under the tree. The last shipment of gifts have come in. I'm ready to rock and roll, boys. You?
Yeah, sure. I guess.
You have a big family. Is your list of people you have to get gifts for long? I mean, like, how do you guys balance it? Because it started to get, especially once cousins started having kids, that we actually had to just say no more gifts. The way we're doing it, we did like the Elfster thing. We did just one person, and you get them a gift for $150. And it was like, so they get a really good quality gift, something that they actually want because inflation happens.
$150 per person?
Yeah, so you only have one person that you
I know,
get
but
a gift for.
Oh, you mean like in the whole family?
In the whole family, everyone participates. You get assigned randomly one person that you get
Secret
that
Santa.
one gift for. So instead of spending
I was
$600 for
sweet Jesus,
everybody,
$150 per person.
Secret Santa.
We have like.
essentially, yeah, the Elfster helps you do that. Yeah, it basically manages like who you get assigned to, and nobody knows. And
What happened to just Santa Claus?
What happened
You
to just
know,
Secret
coming
Santa?
in and-
Just take some paper, rip it up.
you
throw it in a
literally
hat.
don't have to, because now you're littering. Now you
Who
don't care
gives
about
a
the
shit
environment.
about
What if
that?
you eat the paper?
If you eat the paper, then your colon screams. It's called paper cuts.
I'm
I
pretty sure
got
it
the
would
paper
get,
guts.
I'm pretty sure it would get moist on the way down. I think it would stop losing its slicing abilities.
Then you clearly have not eaten your fair share of paper, my friend.
Oh, I've eaten plenty of paper. I eat money.
I
That's
chew,
how rich I am.
I chew on the wood. So
Before it's even paper.
I've had my fair share of wood.
I like some wood.
How
every
much
now
wood
and
could a
then.
woodchuck chuck?
If it would catch up.
How much wood could a will suck? Just kidding.
How much wood could a will suck? If
not
a
even
will
good.
suck could suck wood.
Give or take.
How much?
None. I can't.
For the right amount of money, I could do anything.
That's right.
Anyways,
Right motivation. So, Christmas, big time around this year. I love this stuff. I love it. I look forward to it. Family getting together means the world. And I love getting gifts. I love giving gifts. It's fun. It's a lot of fun, especially now we got a lot of kids in the family. So
luckily, I
been
have a
good.
very organized and methodical partner
amen.
who handles this kind of thing much better than me. I'm the kind of person that, like, if I work Christmas Eve,
yeah.
then I'm off early today. I'll just do my Christmas shopping on Christmas Eve. That's how I've always been my whole life.
Are you also the same dude that walks around the stores going, "It's a bummer these people have to work on Christmas Eve," and you're
Yes,
shopping there
as
Yeah.
I'm shopping.
I don't do that
Never
because
understood that.
I've always worked Christmas Eve.
I used to work in restaurants, and it was like people would come in on Christmas.
Oh, you're really
Thanksgiving.
here?
It's
I'll have
a
the number
shame.
9.
Yeah. It's a shame. Can I have another napkin, please? Like, oh God! All right,
Like, all right.
It's like you are the reason why. But yeah, I make money.
I've always been very last minute about everything, and I was also, like, for the longest time just the lame, like, gift cards for everybody.
Oh.
Hey, got you a
Yeah.
gift card to Panera Bread.
You just
Spend
get the
wisely. I was like, there's $7.82 on here. Oh yeah, somebody used it already, but there's still $7 left.
That's for you.
How much of a scam are gift cards? What percent of gift
Well,
cards
they're
do you
involved
think
in like
actually get
90%
used?
of scams.
Dude, seriously. But like what percent of gift cards do you guys think actually get used? Like if a company sells $1 million worth of gift cards, how much are they actually going to get redeemed?
Well, that's why a lot of when I worked at the bank, and Kyle can talk about it too, is a lot of these businesses will pay their employees in gift cards, knowing that like some of it they aren't going to be able to spend exactly down to the cent, so it comes back to them. Yeah. And so stupid.
So they
There's
give, like
so
give you a
many
gift card to their
companies.
own business?
Yeah, they get paid with a gift card.
There's so
to
many,
their
no,
own
no, no.
company though.
No, it's a prepaid Visa, but there's so many companies that are paying their employees out now with prepaid Visas. And it's where like they have to come in and like try and do like a cash advance off of it to get money off of it. And then sometimes it charges a fee. And I'm like, why does your company, like, do you have an option? Like, oh no, that we have to get paid like this. I'm like, that's the shittiest deal.
Like their
in any
normal,
kind of-
not Christmas bonus or like their
That's their
normal
paycheck.
That's their paycheck.
Yeah.
is a new debit card or whatever, new card every time.
I think it's
no,
usually just one.
They reload the same card. So it's like a pay card. But
And the idea is
there's
that
a
you
fee
wouldn't.
if they try and take cash off of it. And like
Do they also own the bank that manages that then? Like, what the hell is
I don't
that?
probably it's,
What is the benefit for that? Oh,
I can't
God.
think of a specific company that does that, but we saw it a lot.
Yeah.
But I could
Well.
see like if you were, I bet you it's closer to like 70% get redeemed. Like if you sell $1 million worth of gift cards, your company X, your Walmart or whatever, you sell $1 million worth of Walmart gift cards. You probably only have to provide $700,000 worth of goods and services. I bet you 30% of them get lost in a drawer somewhere, get thrown out. Oh, I used this already. I'm not even kidding you. My wife, when we first started dating, she would throw all she would throw all of her gift cards into like this glass bottle. We went through it and she called up like years later. She had like something like $800 worth of gift cards. To random
Wow.
place. She still to this day has hundreds of dollars on that shit. And it's like lost forever. Meanwhile, I lug around. I am like the guy, if I get a gift card, it's like I owe that person the responsibility of getting something with that money. I don't know what it is, but it's like if you give me a gift
You're
card,
like,
let's say to Dick's Sporting Goods or something, I am going to Dick's that next week and I am buying something. It is like, I don't know
won't
what
let
it
you
is.
down.
There
Yeah.
are so many gift
And I'll
cards.
let you know that that's what I got. I don't know, I'm weird like that.
I lose gift cards all the time.
See, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I'll put them in my like dash in my truck or something, or like I'll lose them in my drawers
Yep.
and I forget about it, and then I'll find it. And I'm like, oh sweet, and then I'm like, oh, it expired.
or I'm
"Damn."
like, did I already spend this? Yeah.
probably
Exactly. I was like 4 years old. The paint's fading. It's just fuck it, and you're like,
Yeah.
somebody spent. I don't know. It's mind blowing. I know Jingle Bees. Yeah, I love gift cards too, but I spend them immediately. It's like I owe you a duty if you buy me a gift card to go and buy something with it.
It's
I don't
very
know what
on
it
brand.
is. Yeah, Amazon gift card. I am the guy that like if I got an Amazon gift card on Christmas Day, I
go
am
to
not opening.
Amazon.com.
I am not opening another gift until I had to apply that code to my account.
I mean, I guess that's a way to make sure.
Because then I can throw that piece of shit away, and now it's on my account, and I'm done. And they know that I got the money, and everything's good. It is like a drop dead. Everything show stops. That's what I do. I don't know why.
Jingle Bees does it too.
I add them to my. Ooh, that's a great idea. I guess you could do like things for wallet, but like you could add it to your digital wallet. I think the companies are getting really good about that too. I just don't know how that. I just don't know how like How does that work, Jingle Bees? Like, so when you go to pay, you have to use Apple Pay, and then it knows you're at, let's say, Walmart, and so it would use that gift card first, or do you have to explicitly like go to Apple Pay, tap that you want to use the gift card, and then scan it that way? I'm curious.
We will wait in silence.
Oh, fuck you. I absolutely fucking hate that noise. You scroll through the card. So you do have to select the actual card. Okay. Well, it's good, not great. But still,
it's good, not great. 5 out of 10.
But still.
But it's funny because like cash feels weird, but a gift card doesn't, and I don't know why. It's like, hey, you actually went to the store. But my favorite thing is when sometimes they'll leave you the receipt to say like, hey, I actually put money on this. Like, you know, some people just like a lot of older like people seem to do that. They'll make sure like, hey, if something goes wrong, you can call that number or whatever.
Well, I think
My favorite thing is when you read when they bought it, and it's like, oh, you got this 10 minutes ago. You bought this literally on the way over here. Okay, cool.
thanks.
I have never. If I ever give you a gift card, I can tell you right now, you do not need to tell me what you. I'm gonna be like, oh, I got him a gift card. I don't even remember that.
I think
I don't know.
cash feels weird because it's dirty.
Dirty money.
Yeah, a card is all, neatly, like it's usually presentable, brand new, fresh, clean, usually in a Christmas type wrapping. But cash is like, this has been on a stripper's ass,
Ooh,
gone
might
through
add
some
value.
cocaine bags.
Might add
And
value.
you're like, oh, yeah.
What kind of stripper are you?
And
It's
you
a
have
famous stripper's
you have
dollar
to
bill.
count
Christmas jingles.
it. Like, you have the whole dilemma of, do I want to count it or do I just, like, take the whole bundle and, oh, thanks. Because you're sitting in front of them.
I was told
You look at him,
recently.
make eye contact. Like, not a good year, huh?
So
Not a good
I
year.
always, I don't know if it's from working in banking, but I always count money when it's given to me. I always grab it and I start counting. And I was told recently that that's rude. I was told you're not supposed to do that.
Well, how much money are people giving you where you're literally thumbing through cash?
No, even if it's like,
all ones. Thanks, Grandma.
no, like birthday or Christmas or like or if someone owes me money. Like for instance, I'll do coffee runs for like my team and a lot of them will pay with cash and I'll grab it and I'll just start counting it in front of them. And I was told,
how is
like,
that rude?
they're like, you're supposed to just trust the person. And I'm
that's no.
I'm like, okay, well, I don't know. That seems a little sus to me.
I do think Christmas, it might be a little rude. Like, if, I don't know. It's a weird.
How many
whole
bills
dilemma.
though are you getting to where I don't know. I just
Just like imagine
even if it's 3,
Imagine if you get all ones.
you can't just eyeball that. No,
24.60.
You just because you're probably facing it too, huh? You're
Yeah, I don't
facing the
know.
bills.
My grandpa, when I was a kid, whenever he gave me money, he always gave me it in all ones because it was like it was more than it really was if it was all ones. And he always used to say, "Now count that." And I'm like, "All right." And then he'd be like, "How much is it?" And I'd tell him, and he'd be like, "Got away with it." It's like say that, like, and I never really knew what he meant, but
got away with it.
yeah,
Like, you got away with it? Or
Yeah, no, I'm like,
I'm getting away with
Did
your
you
money?
steal this?
but it was all right.
Got away with ripping me off? Like, what are you getting away with? Dude?
Yeah.
Oh.
He had his quirks.
Yeah, everybody
sure.
does. Yeah. Well, tonight we want to talk about the Game Awards.
Yes, and
Geoff.
how Geoff Keighly let us down.
Him specifically?
Him, well, he's in charge of the whole
He
thing.
is him.
Well, he is him.
He owns it.
He is Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Gosling.
Ryan Reynolds. Yeah, he's Ken.
I'm
just
Ken.
But yeah, I don't know how we want to approach this first. We want to criticize it first, or we
Dylan,
want to
talk about
the
your
awards?
grievances.
Well,
go at it.
I think we share a lot of the same grievances. So I don't know how many of our viewers watch the Game Awards, but so it's a new thing and it's evolving. I can tell you that it started out as just awards, and now since E3's been canceled, it's kind of evolving into a type of E3, like a game announcement / award show.
That's
And
4.5 hours long.
yeah. So this year, last year they had the person who won actor game, performance of the year or something like that. He went on a little long in his speech. And so this year, 8 minutes. He went on 8 minutes on his speech, which was a long time. But instead of slightly correcting, they corrected hardcore to like the opposite end of the spectrum, to where now I think it was they only gave each person 30 seconds before they put on.
I think that includes walk-up time.
Yeah, they put on the teleprompter, wrap it up, and then they'd play an outro. They'd play a song as you're talking.
The teleprompter would literally say "wrap it up." Like, that's so disrespectful.
Yeah, and especially, I mean, when it's these developers have been working on these games for years, and this is like their moment to shine. Like, in specific, there's tons of developers. We'll talk about that too that didn't even get a moment in the spotlight. They're just passed over. But like with Alan Wake 2 with Remedy, a few years ago, Sam Lake, the guy that's the game director, like, he released a video on YouTube and he said like they lost the funding for Alan Wake 2, and he was like, I don't know if and it was just a really sad video because it was the truth, and then they got funding and they were able to make the game again. And so when he goes up there to give that speech, and it was a very nice speech, you could tell he was happy, he was thanking everybody, and then they start playing the outro music. It's like, just give the dude a minute, like.
Yeah.
And so,
like, if I was in that position, I'd be like, I mean, what are they gonna do? have security escort me off. That's more controversy for them.
Yeah.
I would just say what I want to say and
Well,
then get off.
that's what
like,
a lot of people did. Is they just
Yeah.
kept talking.
They might fine you, I guess, would be the main thing there. But it's super disrespectful, and it's clearly because they were making time for other things that had nothing to do with awards. They had all these celebrity appearances, which I was like, is that really necessary to have all these people? Like, is it really selling their show more to have these people talk? Maybe it is. I didn't look at the data, but it just seemed kind of weird that they gave all these people that had nothing to do with the gaming industry, or at least very minimal to do with the gaming industry, these huge spotlights, and they could talk for as long as they want. Well, and then the people that the show is actually for, like it's supposed to be rewarding the creators and the performers and stuff, and it almost felt like they were getting shoehorned at their own event.
Yeah.
Or like, pushed to the side. And it was I felt like their approach was misguided.
Yeah, and I mean, I would even say there was only 2 that I can think of. You guys can correct me, but only 2 I remember of the actors that came on stage that were actually like correlated with a game.
Right.
And that I was like, that's fine. Like they did that with Keanu, makes sense. Like Matthew McConaughey came out about that game that he's in, and then Simu Liu came out and he's in a game too. And I was like, that's okay. I understand that. But when you had like when did Al Pacino? That was last year's.
Yeah, it's weird.
Al Pacino came out last year, which is weird. But
and I get Anthony Mackie because of Twisted Metal. He's in Twisted Metal.
Yeah.
But like, was that like improvised or like what? Like, why did he have so much time to be like an idiot on stage?
And then why Timothy Chalamet? What was?
Because he had a gaming YouTube channel from like 2011 where he was like a little kid making modded controllers. And like,
well, like the Dune universe too. Like,
I did think it was funny how he didn't say like anything off script. He just walked out. He's like, the Game of the Year award goes to, and like that was it. Baldur's Gate 3, and then he's done. Versus Anthony Mackie.
Yeah.
Just went on and on. Shut up! Shut up!
Yeah, and I was like, who is he talking to? Like, I get it, but like, it was just weird because obviously the viewers can't. He just looks like a crazy man.
Yeah,
is what it looked like. I felt like the announcements this year were a little weak, and that's not necessarily their fault.
Yeah.
That's just kind of like what's happening. I wonder if GTA would have been announced at the Game Awards had the information not have been leaked and forced their hand.
I thought they were planning to release the trailer like a day after the leak, though. Like I thought it was only a day difference.
Well, if that's the case, then I don't know. They built a lot of hype around.
I think it was only a day difference.
Monster Hunter. that was their big reveal.
At the end of the show, I was like, oh wow.
All right, cool. I mean, nothing against Monster Hunter, but.
Do you have gripes, Billy?
What's funny is they put these arbitrary time limits on everyone's speaking time, but then what happened was it was still 4.5 hours long. Like, that's just as crazy to me. That's a very long time. I watched the whole thing because I didn't have anything else going on, to be honest, so it wasn't that bad, but it was like, I don't know. It might be that they're like in dire straits for like cash. Like, I don't know how much it costs to rent out a hall and organize that type of event. It's probably insane. I mean, I'm sure they probably paid Chalamet and like all these other announcers, but then so they have to show more trailers to generate more revenue, and so that takes longer and longer and longer and longer. I don't know what the happy medium is. I feel like the gaming studios should sponsor the event maybe more, like step up more in terms of what they are providing in terms of value, so maybe cut it down to like 2.5 hours. But
the thing is, Billy, is like Microsoft and PlayStation, they got their own shows.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like, I don't know where this, if it has to be that big, maybe it should
just be an award show.
It could just be an award show.
You don't need to spend that much money to get celebrities in. Just have like, like people of the industry.
Yeah, and then have everybody film like a congratulations thing, and then you can play that. You know,
like Golden. I don't know if you guys watched or checked out any of the Golden Joystick Awards, which is also a gaming award show. It's like kind of like a smaller level just like actors have the Oscars, and then they also have like the Golden Globes or whatever. The Golden Joystick Awards was like, at least from the like speeches I watched, was better because like Neil Newbon, for instance, he just won for best performance. He also won best performance at the Golden Joysticks, and they gave him like 7 minutes, and he like had a much better speech, and like it was more like, here you could tell he even joked about it. He was like, well, I'll say while I can before they start rushing me off here. Like, so I think that's the part that irritates me is I feel like it's a show that's supposed to like honor like gaming achievement, celebrate gaming
And it's just a
achievement,
marketing platform.
and it just became a marketing platform. And then they were like, oh, by the way, I know we just watched like a bunch of long ass trailers for all these games, but also just so you know, this one won this, and this. All right, moving on. They didn't. Some people didn't even get like
Best RPG, you know.
didn't even get a chance to make a speech. Yeah. They were just like, oh, they won too. Moving on. Like,
yeah, and I get you can't. I mean, there was like 30 categories for this one in particular. I just
4 hours. Though.
that's what I'm saying. Like, find a balance. Like, does it cost that much to put on that you have to have that many trailers? I don't know what the balance is. Like, I feel like they have to go through some soul searching to figure that out, and then to not give them any time, and then we have to sit there and watch Jordan Peele come on stage, and there's like a translator going back and forth, and you're waiting for that response with Kojima. What's his name?
Hideo Kojima.
Yeah, Kojima, and you're waiting for his response, and like, and then it's not even really. It's about a movie. It's not even really a video game, and it was just like, how much are we spending on promotion here? Like, how much are we getting from promotion here? It just didn't feel like it was a game.
That's because Geoff Keighly and Hideo are like this.
Oh, that comes evident every single year.
Yeah. So, I mean,
we are so excited. And it's like, okay, all right, calm down. Jesus.
I would almost, I don't know, what in your guys' head, what would be like the perfect game awards? To me, it would be maybe fewer trailers, but have some big hitters, and then that way you can fit in more personal time for the awards and stuff like that.
I don't think it needs to be an announcement show at all.
Well, I'm fine with them evolving to an announcement show.
How do they generate money? There's no money in that then if it's only just giving awards.
Viewership. People would watch that.
So let's talk about that viewership for a second. Oh. On the YouTube stream alone, I think I saw it clock in at over 1 million people.
Yeah, I mean, how does the
Just
Oscars
on YouTube
make money? They don't announce new movies at the Oscars.
But they have commercial breaks, right? So and those.
Yeah, but that's not the. I mean, you could throw in ads, like on your live stream, but it doesn't have to be an announcement show.
Isn't the Oscars put on by the Screen Actors Guild though? So there's a union that they pull that cash from.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they need to pull it way back on the announcements and keep it more in focus on like the people, the winners, like that's what it's supposed to be. I mean, in my opinion, I like announcements as much as the next guy, but like there are other platforms to do that.
Well, and you see that like 2 days before this comes out, the biggest announcement in the last decade drops, GTA 6.
Just totally swamped anything that they could announce at the Game Awards.
So, obviously they don't care to gain, publicity there. If they don't do announcements, I don't really know. I don't know how they pay for all that. I don't know where the money comes from. I don't know who's sponsoring that event.
Yeah, I mean, they have to, rolling. I guess, to an extent. But
I think that draws in a crowd as well. A certain, there's certain subsets that I think they're trying to appease. They're trying to appease the awards people, the people who are coming for announcements, and then also the celebrities are for the non-gamers. So I think that's what they're trying to do is they're trying to appease to different crowds. And they're not doing it right.
No.
Too much middle ground.
They're
trying to do everything, right?
Yeah.
Which is why it's 4.5 hours.
Yeah.
And it's kind of muddied,
Yeah, I mean, they could even I mean, I think Dylan brought up a good point with the whole E3 is not a thing anymore. And they're like, okay, this is our chance to capitalize on that.
Yeah,
E3 is not a thing anymore. Let's turn this into a real people want to watch to get the new
This is an
gaming
event.
news.
Well,
It's
but
an event.
E3, if they want to follow that model, E3 was never an announcement show, really. It was a game convention showcase
Right.
that was like all the developers could set in and talk to their audience, and they had a panel where they could sit down and talk about their game, and that's a whole different experience.
Right.
And I don't think E3 was ever live streamed.
They could just do the PBS style.
It was
Like the whole thing,
not. Well, I mean, certain
just their main like
showcase.
keynote. Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
like
live streamed.
yeah, because that's when Cyberpunk got to see Keanu come out. I
Well,
watched
that wasn't just re-uploaded after the fact. It
No,
was,
I watched that. I was streaming that.
Hmm.
It didn't die that too far back. It was like a couple years ago.
It died
COVID.
10
right? COVID,
1,000
and then
years
it
ago.
delayed,
Yeah.
and then they actually canceled it. I guess I don't know if I ever tuned.
They
in
could
for those
literally
live.
just do PBS style and be like, "This show brought to you by viewers like you. Please donate to our
Nobody
Patreon."
would donate.
Oh, people would. There was so many people that.
There's
that
probably
There was
10
people
million
doing
people.
super chats, which I thought was hilarious.
There
Yeah.
was probably 10 million people. If you think like from YouTube, the YouTube stream, the multiple channels streaming YouTube, because like IGN picks it up, and then the main channel. Then you think about Twitch and all the people on Twitch that are getting exposed to that. Like you're watching this streamer who's watching that, so it's not even direct viewership. I mean, there's probably over 10 million people being having impressions of what was going on at the Game Awards. There's definitely an audience there for that, and I think that's what I'm saying. Like a commercial on TV that they play a trailer for or whatever. I don't understand how they're not making enough money. If that's the complaint, because you like watch an ad on TV, they have no idea if you're the target audience.
No.
They have no idea. If you're watching the Game Award show, you're absolutely
Pretty
their
targeted.
target audience. So you got 10 million people who buy your type of product watching that. And then you run, I mean, how many things were announced? Probably 70, not announced, but had a trailer there.
Yeah.
70. You're talking what, minimum maybe $10,000 to put, at least I can't imagine it being less than that. $10,000 to run your trailer for your game. It's probably more than that.
Yeah.
$10,000 times 70. I don't know. I feel like you have I don't know.
Geoff Keighly
You've
himself.
got to have enough money to generate this one event.
There's a lot of people that were upset about kind of how they approached it. And Geoff Keighly himself, he did say on X, he said, "By the way, I do agree that the music was played too fast for award winners this year, and I asked our team to relax that rule as the show went on. While no one was actually cut off, it's something we should address going forward." So I don't know what that means, but he acknowledged it. The main thing that caused a lot of controversy is during the Game of the Year speech. There was a sign that said, "Please wrap it up," as they were dedicating the game to one of their team members that passed away during production.
Ooh.
They were literally saying, and then you look and it says, "Please wrap it up." It's like, Jesus, read the room.
Oh man, that was yeah. I mean, but I still enjoyed watching. I mean, we're griping about it now, but
It was the worst night of my life.
yeah, we watched all 4 hours. Well, me and Billy did. Kyle came in near the end.
I just wasn't talking to you because I was at work.
Did you watch the whole thing?
Yeah, it was on in the background. But I wasn't able to participate in chatting.
I think I'm lowballing it immensely with just seeing some of the responses. I think I'm lowballing with that 10,000 per trailer, especially if you've got literally a dozen million people
Yeah,
watching this.
I've never heard somebody say 12 million in such a way.
a dozen million.
I didn't want to say dozens of people.
Dozens of. There are
dozen.
24 people.
There's a baker's dozen. I don't know. I didn't have any problems with it. I thought it was very long, but it's, it is what it is. Like, I watch that 90% of the games I'm not going to be interested in. I felt like a lot of the games are the same. You're just like, well, okay, that's a twist on that. Okay, a twist on that. Kind of uninspired work.
Nothing new under the sun.
I would watch. Maybe I do prefer like the E3 model where it's like you can go. I don't know. This has actually been a complaint of mine for a while. I feel like virtual events, such as like the viewership for Game Awards, like I'm sure being there is really cool. Virtual events suck, bar none. The interactivity of a virtual event is garbage. The options that we have as viewers is garbage. It's basically like a still camera, and then maybe somebody's like firing away, like from a production standpoint, to change the camera angle, yada yada yada. Like it's terrible. I want a much more interactive experience. Like I feel like every virtual event from COVID launched this, and I thought there was a few companies that do like massive, like 100,000 plus person conventions. I thought, oh, they're going to take that budget and come up with something really cool in the virtual world. And nobody has. And I don't even think anyone's really trying to push that envelope or try. And I feel like it's such an opportunity. Like imagine if you're streaming the Game Awards and you could go in there and you could like, you're on like, you could go and you can have like panel interviews with all the different creators, and you could go in there and you can watch those live. You could enter a queue to ask your questions, whatever it is, or like you could jump in and like run a cloud version of a demo of one of the games that they're talking about, or like whatever. Like, I mean, truly like a crazy, awesome digital experience from sitting on your home.
Let's start it.
It kind of is crazy that doesn't exist.
The Keighly Ratio Awards.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's jump on board. It blows my mind.
At the end of the year, we should just have our own award show. Let's come up with categories and then just put in what we think.
We'll come up with our own fight. Yeah, that would be fun, actually. We should host it.
I think we should.
Dress up in suits.
Yeah.
Honestly, we should. I think that would be fun.
I did, before I forget about it, I did want to ask. I was going to ask when we were watching the show, should we try and go to the Game Awards?
1 year?
How hard is it to do?
I know it was sold out this year.
Do you need a
Where's it at?
special invitation, or you could just buy a ticket?
LA. I think you can just buy a ticket. That kid was there. The Bill Clinton kid.
Bill Clinton.
He has powers you can't understand.
I don't think he got invited.
Yeah, he just walked up on stage too. Security was really good that year.
Security, they were everywhere.
This year, they
They had
was
some
like
big dudes right there in the front.
I feel bad that Miyazaki, like, their Game of the Year announcement was forever tarnished by that.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Was it tarnished?
No, it's not. Let me rephrase. It's not tarnished. It was overshadowed.
Mm.
Everybody's always going to remember Bill Clinton kid, not that Elden Ring one. I mean, I'm taking away from as if Elden Ring doesn't get praise. Like, it's...
Yeah, I think his speech was definitely maybe
His speech was overshadowed.
Jingleby says we should mail them a cute statue. These game companies when they win the award on our show.
Yeah, and it should be statues of us, like, in tasteful erotica.
Tasteful nudes.
Yeah.
We just send it to the development studio. They're like, what the...
This is your Keighly Ratio Award.
Most people send cupcakes.
You're welcome.
But we'll send them erotica.
You're welcome.
Tasteful erotica, all right?
And then we're going to have a
Put the
link to our
K in your
YouTube channel.
D.
It's where, where you're covered up just enough. Just a little bit, like, just like if a slight breeze came in, you'd expose everything.
And we'll have
That's the end of this show.
we'll have our link to our YouTube channel on it because nobody's going to know who we are.
We get
Such a
sued.
negative view.
They're like, "Oh my god, I've been waiting for this award.
I watched it live."
I can't believe we won."
I mean,
But we
what would
should
you
do
do? What would you do if you had if you were putting on this event? Obviously, they do it for, at its core, they're doing it for the industry and for to celebrate the people. I mean, that's how it started. Now it's just become this thing that they have to manage and maintain. What do you do?
I think.
Do you not care about the audience at home, even though that's millions of people, and you just really cater the event for the people watching in person, and you honor the artists and people who brought these games? Or are you trying to make a production event that is enjoyable and useful for people?
At the end of the day, it's a business. I mean, let's be real. They're trying to make as much money as they can off of it.
How many times a year do they do this?
Once.
No. Well, they do the summer. They do like the Summer Game Awards, right? Where they just do announcements.
Summer Games Fest?
Yeah.
That's not
Whatever.
the same
not-
people.
Well, he hosts.
Geoff Keighly?
Jeff Keighly hosts like multiple events throughout the year. Doesn't he do like a summer one and like a spring one? Or
He
something?
might do Summer Games Fest. I don't know if that's him or not.
I'm pretty sure he does other.
The Game Awards presents
It's
Summer
probably
Games Fest.
It's probably the same production company putting these on.
Let's see.
It's all him, all by himself. That's what we mean when we're talking
a
about
one-man
it.
band.
He
Legend.
He does do Summer Games Fest. You're right. He started that in 2020. He actually did Spike Video Game Awards that ended in 2013, but it's 2003 to 2013.
Okay.
And then Game Awards 2014 to present, and then he started Summer Games Fest in 2020. So he does 2 events a year: Summer Games Fest and the Game Awards. He also has a series called The Final Hours. It's been going since 1998. I don't really know what it's about, but that's another thing he has.
Huh. I would recommend, if you're interested, Billy. I know I watched last year, somebody did an interview with him. I think it was Skill Up. I think Skill Up did an interview with Geoff, and he asked him a lot of the questions that you're asking now, of like to get into his brain on like the reason he did this is because he noticed that there was a gap with E3 going. He's like, there's a gap to fill that I can. I can.
So it's just
act
soul
on it.
search. Well, so you said he started in 2020
For
This
Games
is a new-
Fest.
Yeah. Oh, just okay.
Game
But the
Awards has
Game
been going
Awards-
since 2014.
Okay.
And before that, it's actually the Spike Video Game Awards is actually what
Oh, they
evolved
just
into
converted.
the Game Awards.
I don't know. Nobody's answered this. I mean, we're talking about like even CES. I mean, you're talking about the largest. I think that might be the largest convention in the world. Like 400,000 people descend on Vegas and go to this thing. Even that, the coverage kind of blows. And it's like, okay, so who's your audience? Like a convention, you're focused on the convention attendees. But for this, I feel like if you've got an audience of 10 million people, I mean that I was telling my wife, do you see how many people are watching this? This blows the ratings out for like the Oscars and like
Yeah.
it blows it out of the water in terms of how much viewership this is getting. So who is this for? Like, give us, like, are you making it to just celebrate the artists and stuff like that? That's fine. Then make it more about that and don't, cost us 4.5 hours, to show us trailers for games that are, multi-year out, or if you want to have like a really kick-ass experience and, I don't know, not get a bunch of criticism, make it better for the viewer. I don't know how you do that.
So I never got an answer. Should we go next year? Should we think about it?
Only if they improve. Right? They need to show
better.
us.
Let's talk to Geoff Keighly.
I want more.
Get that promise from him.
I'm down. I want to go to something like this.
Maybe we can win Content Creator of the Year.
I wouldn't want to go to Game Awards if we were to do like a game thing.
Games Fest would be.
I would love to go
way
to
more
like
Summer Games Fest?
Gamescom or
something. I would rather I would like going to an award show, but I would like going to like an announcement show.
I would love to go to like a booth or a panel and like actually be exposed to developers that are like crazy passionate about their game. And
maybe
why
we can get
it's
a press
awesome.
pass.
I
We
think we
absolutely
could
could.
work that out.
Dude, you could get press passes with we have the viewership for press pass 100%.
Damn, let's do it.
Like CES, yeah.
But the problem.
Let's just say I got a press pass when I wasn't press at all. I got approved for everything.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
I just never ended up getting a chance to go.
CES
got
is in
approved for
Europe. That's the problem, right?
No, it's in Vegas.
Which one's in
Consumer
Europe?
Electronics Show, CES.
What's the one that's in Europe?
CES might do a European show, but
The biggest convention is in Europe. We had a whole conversation. We looked it
the
up.
biggest convention ever?
Yeah.
Biggest gaming convention?
Or is it gaming or just convention in general?
I don't remember. We'll look it up here.
Oktoberfest?
No, not October.
Oktoberfest. I feel like it was like 18 biggest gaming conventions in the world.
Oh, then they're probably going to be game specific like League of Legends or Dota.
Electronic. Let's look at number one. It was
Well, CES isn't gaming, it's just electronics.
Gamescom in Germany.
that's in Germany.
Gamescom is in Germany.
Gamescom.
So that's the one that you said you want to go to?
Yeah. Let's go to Gamescom in Germany. Why not?
Deutschland, here we come.
Here we come. You can see your ancestry.
No, yeah. Let's go.
That doesn't sound German.
I
Not
suck
at
at
all.
accents. There's a spider floating right there. You see that thing?
I do.
Get it. That was something. I was expecting like a clap on it, and then you did like this weird swipe or no swiping kind of thing, and
That was something.
Something. Well, should we talk about who won Game of the Year?
Yeah, let's actually talk
And
about
the
the
awards.
yeah, rather than just bitching.
So, Baldur's Gate 3 sweeped as we expected, as we guessed.
They deserved it.
They did. Alan Wake 2 won quite a bit. I was honestly surprised with how much they won.
Yeah.
Tears of the Kingdom won Best Action Game.
Yeah.
What else?
Best performance, Neil Newbon from
From Baldur's Gate.
Baldur's Gate, playing the vampire, sassy vampire.
Alan Wake just ran the table basically on what they were doing.
Yeah.
Marvel Spider-Man didn't win a single award.
They were nominated for 6
Amen.
They lost
awards
every
and
single
won
one.
0.
I think Billy had something to do with it.
Me too. I think
They've been
he hacked the
listening in.
system.
He
Gave them negative points.
I saw some of the
hacked the
best
system.
takes on that. They thought like when Baldur's Gate was announced as Game of the Year, like I think I sent it to you guys, but the guy reacting because it wasn't Spider-Man, just absolutely freaking out like a man.
I mean, I'm a fan, but I've never
he was sassy.
Well, when we went through the votes, and
I didn't vote for Spider-Man.
the only one I think we voted for Spider-Man was Yuri Lowenthal.
I think I voted for best performance. I still think that he probably should have won that, but I'm okay with Neil Newbon getting it. He's been in the industry forever, Neil, and it's nice to see him rewarded like that because he's been like in all these games and animes, and so it is cool that he's getting his moment of glory for sure. But Yuri did such an amazing job.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it.
But that's
like
really
the
the
best
only one.
last
Yeah, I mean, all the other ones, I'm kind of like, I'm okay if it didn't win that.
Yeah.
I'm a Spider-Man fan, but I'm not like, I'm not irrational.
Billy
You're a
thinks
simp.
we're irrational.
You're both simps.
Yeah, well,
Spider simps.
what does a spider simp do?
My spider simps are tingling.
I don't even know what that means.
That's an accurate representation of us for
That's
sure.
both of you guys charging up.
for Spider-Man. Cyberpunk winning best ongoing game. That caused a little bit of a controversy because it's not a live service game, so it's kind of weird that it was even nominated for that category.
I think it should have had another category. I would have been fine with it winning like best expansion.
Yeah. I think it's because they couldn't put it anywhere else and they wanted Cyberpunk in there for something. So I'm okay with it because
Yeah.
I'm such a huge Cyberpunk simp.
You're not a Cyberpunk simp. What are your thoughts on it, Billy?
I think it's totally appropriate.
Okay.
Like that was, ongoing game. So like DLC, that's what I would include in that. This was a massive update that brought a bunch of people back to the game, and they absolutely adored it.
I always figured
Live
that
service,
maybe
categories that should be different, but yeah.
I misunderstood what that category was. I guess I would made an assumption it was for live service games. So that's what some people are kind of like. I read this one article that opened up with, he's like, normally I only write about Destiny on this website, but I need to take time to talk about Cyberpunk winning ongoing game. And opening it up with normally I only write about Destiny kind of made me was like, all right, dude, like
Unbiased for sure.
yeah. It just
Destiny should have been the best game.
Destiny should have won.
God dang it. Even though we didn't have a single content downloadable anything in the last year, it should have still won. It's so good. They maintain the hell out of those servers.
But I'm okay with it too. There's a lot to talk on. I'm not going to waste your guys' time because I've done this a lot of times already. But I think that the fact that even though they made money within like CD Projekt Red made enough money to just wash their hands and move on within like the first 2 months of that game coming out. But instead they allocated resources. They had their team. They dropped all their future projects. They had their team focus on nothing but that game, even though financially they didn't need to. It was all for their reputation, and so I respect that.
Yeah. They didn't cower it away and roll up
Yeah, they owned up to it. They owned up to their mistake.
and fixed it.
Any other awards you guys want to talk about before we move on to some of the announcements?
No.
All right. Well, I want to start us off with Blade.
Blythe.
Blythe
Yeah,
from
they're doing
Elden
Elden
Ring.
Ring spinoff.
Blade by Arcane Studios.
I love Blade as a character. Arcane developing it is what has me worried because I know that they, other than Redfall, they have a kind of huge following around very successful games, but I've never really liked Arcane Studios.
Same.
Their games are just not that fun to me.
I've never beat any of the Dishonored. I didn't make it like that far in any of them. And even I never played Deathloop. I played Prey a little bit, but it doesn't vibe with me.
I played Deathloop. I played Dishonored. I've never played Prey, but I've played all those other ones.
Wolfenstein.
I've never beaten one. And Wolfenstein, I actually love the Wolfenstein series, but Wolfenstein Youngblood was my least favorite.
Specifically, the 2 Wolfensteins they made sucked.
Yeah.
The other ones were good. The
New Order and Colossus.
Yeah.
Something. New Colossus. Something like that.
But then I guess Arcane took over, and those ones were the worst ones.
Yeah.
So,
Redfall tripped and stumbled out of the gates, right?
I
Oh,
don't
yeah,
think it's recovered.
It
They
still
gave up
hasn't?
on it. They've moved on already.
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah.
Well, so I believe
I remember
though.
being kind of excited for that game.
Because it was like we get excited for anything that we can potentially just play together.
Yeah. I do think though, to be fair, I think Redfall is their. There we go. Redfall was Arcane Austin, which is like their B team. Arcane
Lion.
Lyon in France. That's what made all the Dishonored, and that's like their. Yeah, that's because it looks like Dishonored came out first titled separately by Arcane. So I don't know, but it sounds like Arcane Lyon is their A team.
Yeah, but I mean, as a developer, you don't get to blame.
Yeah,
That was our B team. You own the team.
yeah.
Just, that's your fault. If you have a team of players within your studio that isn't as good as the other ones.
Well, and I don't even think it's the developer's fault. I think it's whoever directed that game.
Bethesda.
Well, yeah, like whoever came
Arcane's
in
a
and planned
subsidiary
it.
of-
Like the developers probably tried their best to make the game work, but I don't know. The blame always gets hard when you look at games like that because it's like I don't blame the coder. He probably was doing.
No,
his
it's
job.
always the game director.
Yeah.
They own that whole thing. They own the vision, the execution, the whole chain.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Rockstar, all their microtransactions and bullshit controversy aside, Rockstar Studios, no matter what part of Rockstar is developing it, their games usually are just fucking great. Like Red Dead Redemption was developed by Rockstar. I forget which one, but it's not the same Rockstar that did GTA. It was like Rockstar San Diego, Rockstar something. And so like their B teams at Rockstar are still developing amazing games.
Yeah.
Because Red Dead Redemption, not Red Dead Redemption 2. Red Dead Redemption 2 is developed by like their main Rockstar studio, but the first Red Dead was developed by their B team.
So what's the B team working on now?
Maybe Red Dead 3. I don't know. Hopefully. We'll see. Not too sure.
The new engine.
Maybe. So they
Well,
announced
these things take like 10 years for them to build. So, I mean, Jesus, who knows? They could be focused on any number of things.
And it is just funny looking at like Rockstar when you come to the frequency of how fast game comes out versus like Ubisoft, especially. Ubisoft is like every 1 year. They're like new Assassin's Creed, and then Rockstar's like 10 years. We'll give it. We'll let it cook.
Well, the last one was Assassin's Creed Mirage. I think.
Was that the last one?
I think so. I'm watching Something Cool Gaming play it right now. It is not fun looking.
Yeah.
I don't even know why I'm watching it.
Well, and I believe it's a weird trend now that I think on it. Both Mirage and Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 were expansions that they're like, let's make it a full game.
It's because people still buy it.
That blows. It's a weird.
It's
and
such
I don't.
a cookie cutter recipe that they just continue to spit out, and it just generates more money than anything. It's unbelievable.
So, Billy, what one were you most excited about on the Game Award announcements? Because we have a lot. We won't go over all of them because there's a lot we don't even know.
Yeah, to be honest, I wasn't really blown away by any of them.
Any?
Not really. Like I took notes on a handful of games that might pique my interest. I added a few games to my Steam wish list. I can look that up actually.
Because
my
like
wish list.
I I really want to see more about the Matthew McConaughey game, Exodus. I think.
Actually, yeah, that does look good.
Or was it Exoborn?
Exoborn, I think.
Exodus. It was Exodus.
Was it?
Yeah. That one looks interesting because he comes out to say he's in the game, and then proceeds to show us a trailer without him in it at all, which I thought was pretty funny. I was like, "Oh, okay."
I wonder if he saw that before, or if he just realized while he was on stage, like, I'm not even fucking in this.
Yeah, he's like, "All
What
right,
am I
all
over
right,
here?"
all right."
All right.
And he said that at the
I'm
Game
leaving.
Awards. He told us that they told him to say pew pew pew, and it was kind of like, what the fuck?
He's like, I will never be caught dead saying this.
So the two games that I put down is Exoborn and Throne and Liberty, which is Throne and Liberty is a Korean MMO published by NCSoft, developed by NCSoft, I think, as well. And the combat looks interesting. It's out in Korea, I think, as of this week. I watched a few streams of it, people playing it, and it's very much so. It looks very PvP centric, but some of the systems look like a lot of fun. So
What about the
combat looks good.
in Discord? You seemed excited about the one that the Ori developers were making.
Which one's that?
It was like the top down kind of. I don't know.
Ori, like ORI.
Oh yeah, the developers of
Yeah.
Ori, ORI, Will o' the Wisps, their developer Moon Studios. You can click it right there.
Right here.
No, right.
Moon.
Well, yeah.
What? This one? Come on now.
Let's go on an adventure, Billy.
It's like not even going back now. I have to like double click. What did you want me to click? The Wikipedia link?
Yeah, because that would probably show you. I think.
What is happening with this?
It took you so far.
Yeah,
back.
I don't know what just happened.
Yeah, right there.
I wanted to see photos of this though. Yeah. What about it?
Well, they're working on a game, and that was the only one I saw on Discord that you seemed excited about.
I'm trying to like see an image that makes me go, "Oh yeah, that's right. I saw," because it doesn't look.
It's not this game, but you got to look up what other game they're working on. I just don't remember the name of it.
It's by Moon Studios. Let's
Yep.
see. Moon Studios.
Probably just go to their Wikipedia.
Let's see. Boy, you're really carrying this conversation while I do this.
You're going around about it in such a.
You said it was Ori, so
No
that's
Rest
why I
for the
started
Wicked right
this.
there.
Okay, No Rest for the Wicked.
That's the one that you seemed excited about. And Ori was a really good game, Ori and the Will o' the Wisp. Did you play that one, Kyle?
No.
Ori?
Did not.
You
I'm
played,
excited about Exodus.
Exodus?
I'm reading into it now, and I remember thinking this could be really cool. It's developed by former BioWare devs, the game director that worked on Mass Effect. It's a whole new original sci-fi universe grounded in realism. It could be pretty cool.
Did they say, I want to see more? They did show kind of gameplay, but
It
I
was all
want to know.
cinematic.
I want to know what it actually is.
The
Like-
guy that worked on this, he's worked with BioWare on games, everything from Baldur's Gate to Knights of the Old Republic.
You're talking about No Rest for the Wicked?
No, I'm talking about Exodus. No Rest for the Wicked looks stupid. I'm just kidding.
Wow. Do you remember it now, Billy?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yes. I like the setting a lot, and I think that they showed very little pieces of like their combat, and it looks like it's a lot of fun. Like this little, interactive. It gets up and down. I think I got like a very, like that looks like so much fun.
Yeah.
I
Or
love that.
watching it and just staring at a screen
Yeah, it
in
looks
silence.
good.
Looks so good.
I would say, yeah, Exodus.
Gameplay for me is everything. So
Exodus looks good. The only other game announcement that I was hyped for was God of War, and I mean that's just because it like came out in 3 days. But Exodus It's like a space sci-fi. I want to know, Kyle, have you read anywhere like what kind of game it is?
It's an RPG.
RPG?
It's an RPG, and
Okay.
it's
So it's
gonna
not
be-
Destiny.
No, they said that it's not like a live service game. It's gonna be a single player narrative driven experience.
Yes,
And
thank you.
it's a wholly unique sci-fi universe that they developed
There's
as a
gameplay
team.
here at the end, Billy.
I'm just close now.
Inspired by, just because he worked on it, inspired by games like Mass Effect, but he says it's going to have a lot more freedom in the
Okay.
narrative, and similarly in a way like Baldur's Gate is. But he says he's not trying to compete with like games like Starfield or Baldur's Gate, like it's their own thing. But he's basically like, imagine like a well-crafted universe like Mass Effect with more freedom in the story. Like you have more control over how the narrative plays out rather than Mass Effect where, even though we love the game, it kind of is what it is. You fight the
Yeah.
Reapers, It's not like you can join the Reapers.
Yeah,
And-
you can't be a space pirate.
yeah, like
Is
your
it
commander
based in the Mass Effect universe?
no. It's its own thing. But the reason people bring up Mass Effect a lot when talking about it is because
He's an
the game director for it worked for BioWare for like 20 years.
Well, definitely.
And he
keep
was
our eye
there
on
when
that,
BioWare was still king of the RPG.
when it was still BioWare.
But it was back when BioWare was great. Let's make BioWare great again.
Yeah, I have no interest in that game.
You didn't even watch the gameplay.
Doesn't need it. Like the gameplay is. Did you just hear everything he mentioned? Everything he mentioned.
That sounds
had
like
nothing
right
to
up
do
your
with-
alley.
Had nothing to do with gameplay. You can
That
control your
sounds
own narrative, and there was
so
a whole
right
story around
right
that.
up your alley, Billy.
That's like that.
I know
that
you
doesn't
love
bring me into
story
a game.
games.
I'm there to play the game.
Sci-fi doesn't bring you into. You love sci-fi.
For film.
you
If I'm
played
just there to
Mass
watch it
For us.
for you, and I did enjoy it. It was good. It was good.
Did you hear that? I did enjoy it.
But it's
That's
but
okay. I'm not here
I
to
would
try
never
and
go
convince.
back to it. I would never go back to it. Just to get a different cutscene, or download Cyberpunk again so I can go take a shower with my love interest.
I never
cuddle.
undownloaded it, so
Yeah, it's
that's
always
your
been
first
downloaded.
mistake. I've never taken it off my hard drive.
Cuddle with my in-game video. Oh, they got a new DLC. I can get pets. She'll pet me.
I don't remember getting pet, but
You don't have the mods,
River
so.
is still the weirdest romance. You could he just seems kind of like a dick, and they're always like trying to the developers really want you to know that it would never work out, because if you're romancing River as a female V, you're constantly there's even this part in the new patch that they patched in where V's like, River, I need to talk to you. And he's just like, yeah, you don't see a future. And she's like, let's not focus on that right now. Let's just be here. And I'm like, the fuck? They're just clearly not going to work. And the developers really want you to be like, no, Judy's the one for you.
Not River.
Not River. Don't choose River. It's
What about Carrie?
Carrie Eurodyne, same thing. Obviously, the developers want the canon romance for male V to be Pan Am, but Carrie Eurodyne, at least it's more like they're not trying to force you to break up with him. It's just weird how it's not weird. They obviously have a preference on I think they did that on purpose. Carrie Eurodyne and River are supposed to be flings, whereas the other two are more
Serious.
end game type stuff. But that's such a even though that's such a small part of the game, those types of things is I love romance in video games.
Yeah.
I have no that trumps gameplay for me.
How can I get this chick to sleep with me? Let's get all the dialogue options.
It's not even about that.
It's
Billy.
not about that. It's about feeling something.
What do you feel? You have 4 lines with these people before they're trying to bang you. And
Not in Cyberpunk.
In Baldur's Gate, yes.
In Baldur's Gate,
Baldur's
yes, 100%. But Baldur's Gate is not. That's actually, I like the romance in Baldur's Gate, but that's that game is. I mean, that's such a small part of the game. Is so massive. It's about the RPG. It's about the the narrative and like.
I'm a romantic, so it just doesn't apply because you play a game. It's like takes you what, 10 hours maybe in-game playtime before they're lovey-dovey over you, and you're like, I'm not there yet.
I don't know if you're a romantic.
That makes me a romantic because I need love to develop.
I don't know about.
Love needs to be.
Do you like romance films then? Because they fall in love over the course of like an hour.
But it's years on screen.
Okay, that's different.
What about Mass Effect 1? Or Mass Effect, any
The
of the
best
romance.
part about Mass Effect 1 was killing Ashley.
No, I mean the romance. Like, how do you feel about that pacing?
It takes a whole game and a half to romance Tally. Because you can't even romance her in the first game.
She's
Mass
underage.
Effect 1, I didn't even fall in love with anybody.
You romanced Liara, and you were like, that was pointless. I remember you said that.
I don't even remember. Yeah, dude. No, it just wasn't good. I don't even remember. Like, it didn't even leave an impression on me. I'd rather romance Morden.
Wow.
There's probably a huge community for that
Yeah.
somewhere on Reddit.
You know?
You know. Yeah.
It's called
Maybe.
Morden.
I don't know why this popped into my head, but I was kind of sad. Hogwarts Legacy was nowhere at the Game Awards.
Their game was
That came out
really-
this year.
Yes, but it was really buggy at launch.
But it was a good game.
It was a very good game it was a very good game. That combat was a lot of fun. It got stale very quickly after 25 hours, but it was very enjoyable.
After 25 hours?
You know, I have a confession.
Okay, your guys' scale is totally different. I played MMOs for thousands of
came?
hours. Yeah, I played.
I came for thousands of hours.
I came from an MMO background. Thousands of hours, just gameplay all over, everywhere. Okay, like 25 hours. Like if you're bored of the gameplay already, that's a bad game. Just kidding.
All right.
You know,
Not for this game. It was so much fun for those first 24 hours, like learning the combos of how everything. Like there was so many cool little combos that I wish were spelled out a little more clear to you. But it was fun.
I never
You would
even beat
chain
Hogwarts
people.
Legacy.
Whoa, really?
I got bored. Yeah.
Wow. I did like a lot of the side content in that game too. I wanted to lockpick all the level 3 doors.
It's so weird that you liked that game. I
Loved
mean,
it.
because
He's
like
a big Harry
you
Potter
don't like Harry Potter.
I don't.
You don't like single player narrative driven games.
He doesn't like kids.
You don't like children.
Kid stories.
Like not that you don't like children. Let's clarify. You don't like stories where they focus through a kid's point of view.
I was a senior, okay, in whatever their class is. So I was an adult. Okay.
Okay.
No, they didn't. I didn't
Fifth-
feel like I was in that
fifth year?
game. 5th year, yeah.
You had 2 more years of school.
They
Do all the way up to
seven?
7 years. Yeah.
So
He's just like, fuck, I hate the game now.
no,
Damn it.
but I never felt like I was treated as a like a child. Like all my interactions, I felt like were very adult like because all the focus was, oh, you're transferred in, you're new to the school. Here's what you need to do to get caught up. And so you're like learning the spells and stuff. It was never like, oh, little Billy, you're so cute. In due time, it was like, no, it was like, hey, let's
They don't
get
do
you up to
that in a
speed.
lot of stories where
Dude, I
kids are
feel
the
like it
hero.
is. I feel like it is.
They do that in Spider-Man.
Oh, we're getting disciplined. I have to sit in a no-no chair.
Did they do that in
What are you watching? I have to sit in the no chair.
Yeah, dude, just dumb shit, dude.
He's like watching like Playhouse Disney, and he's like,
Yeah.
"Fuck this."
Dude, that's literally like Spider-Man. He goes and has a
Do you remember
has
when you
a
had to sit in the no chair?
Yeah, that's my favorite part, actually.
I'm sorry.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Aunt May.
He got spanked
Oh,
by
I'm
Tony
at,
Stark.
I'm at the high school cafeteria. People are bullying me. I'm sad. I'm going to go hang out with this unhinged crackhead. Oh, I'm best friends with him now. Oh, wow. Like,
What
that's
is he even talking about?
I don't know.
Who's the unhinged?
literally-
Which Spider-Man is
Dude,
this?
it's literally every fucking children's game. Talk about the movie Spider-Man. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm at the cafeteria. Oh, drop my food. Oh,
Unhinged.
What, the Tobey
Crackhead?
Maguire
the
one?
Tobey Maguire
Who's
one.
the crackhead?
It's the 3 people that talk to him. He goes in over there, sits, and he's
Mary
with the
Jane?
loners. No, Mary Jane
sits
comes
with the
later.
Harry? Harry
Yes!
Osborn?
Nobody thought that kid was cool. It's literally the same plot in every movie. Oh, we got a little. Oh, he's an outsider, but he gets powers. But he just can't seem to make friends in school. Okay. Oh, he has the crush on the hottest, most popular girl in school. Wow, I didn't see that one coming. Oh, he's nervous about talking to her. Oh, he does something ridiculously embarrassing, but because we want the girl to seem approachable, she's going to be irrationally kind about the whole situation. Anyway, I digress.
I feel like
It's just the
Wow.
same thing.
I feel like you're
every
holding
fucking
on to
time.
something,
Yeah.
and you need to talk to a therapist because
It's the same.
you're really affected by this.
stories.
That, or you're a
every time.
sociopath.
I might be.
Because you're like,
It's
how
this-
dare they showcase somebody that struggles in life? Fuck that.
It's the same bullshit story. It does not.
Everything's
change,
the
dude. I
same
swear.
bullshit story.
It really is.
There's nothing new.
Even
under the
if
sun.
even if you boil it, you roll it back a little layer further, all these stories you could go to like I bet you 80% of movies that ever happen, it's like this idea of like the portal story. Take an ordinary person, something galvanizes them to go on a different path.
Hero's Journey.
Yeah, exactly. It's the same. That is literally every fucking film.
I mean, what would you like?
The Last Samurai.
Where the white
Yes.
person is the hero.
Yes.
Which is Avatar, Dances with Wolves.
Yeah, because that hasn't
Last
been done
of
a
the
million
Mohican- Yeah.
times.
Good Will Hunting.
Let's see. Last
Toy
Samurai, Dance with the Wolves, Avatar,
Last of the Mohicans.
Last of the Mohicans, that one cartoon with the fairies where they burned down the rainforest.
What?
What?
Yeah, it's the same. It's like Avatar.
Wow.
It's literally. But
Is
it
it
came out
recent?
no, it came out in like the 90s.
Huh.
I just hate Spider-Man, guys.
Yeah, it sounds like you have some stuff to get off your chest about that. Fern Gully, Kyle?
Fern Gully.
Jingle Bees.
That's the one.
Mm.
That is the one. Which apparently they're making live action, I guess.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I think we need more.
Even if you've never seen it, you've seen the artwork probably.
Oh, yeah, with the bat. Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, that's basically Avatar. Fern Gully.
So that's your favorite type of movie, Billy?
100%.
And you don't like Avatar?
No.
Yeah, I agree. Jingle
never seen
Bees.
Avatar.
I think it's Fern Gully's live action is going to be terrible. I don't understand why they would do that.
Why do they do most stuff, you
I
know?
don't know. I heard Zendaya is going to be in it because she's in everything.
Is she the next Zoe Saldana?
Was Zoe Saldana in everything or just in all the things that made $1 billion?
That one. Guardians of the Galaxy, Endgame,
Avatar.
Avatar. What else?
She kind of plays the same character in all
She's-
of them, too.
Zoe
Not in
Saldana.
Avatar.
It's the same as Gamora.
She's the same
Instead
as
of green,
Gamora.
it's blue. Same shit.
Zoe, Zendaya's the new Judi Dench. It's just like some random,
I agree.
just some random. She's the new Maggie Smith.
I was
New Kirsten Dunst.
more of a Margaret Thatcher kind of lady.
Not even an actor. It's a politician.
She's new Helen Keller.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Zendaya. That reminds me of.
I'm curious.
Have you seen how many articles there are that it's Elden Ring meets X? Elden Ring meets. It's a meme now.
It's happening like Dark Souls, huh?
Because they're all comparing because it was so good.
There was on Reddit someone compiled a list. There was like 42 articles in the last 2 months where it says blah 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 game is Elden Ring meets something. Elden Ring meets a genre. And there's so many articles
Something
about that.
written
And
by
I was
AI.
like, God. And it reminds me of when Skyrim first came out. A bit like it's like Skyrim with guns. It's like Skyrim, but like it's
Well,
so
and Dark
unoriginal.
Souls.
Dark Souls, too.
like
Everything was a Souls like all of a sudden. If a game had any amount of difficulty, it's Souls like.
yeah.
Like there's more to the Souls genre than just difficulty. You can't just it's a hard game. You can't just be like it's Souls like. Anyways, rant over.
I guess it's my turn to rant.
Well, my rant wasn't nearly as passionate
Yeah,
as
no.
his anti-child hero story.
They're the
rant.
worst. Give me a story that's not about the crush that's way out of your fucking league. Anything other than that, and I might, or being bullied. Oh, God. Can't say. There's a lot more shit that happens in childhood than those two ideas.
I don't think that he got his crush.
And
he's like,
I think he
it's
was bullied.
It's unrealistic that the nerd would win the fucking crush.
Are you okay?
No, I'm not okay. I need help.
Avatar: The Last Airbender.
That is that an example of like bad live action adaptations?
I don't know.
Adaptations?
Jinglebees, what was your context of Avatar: The Last Airbender?
I think we moved on.
I love the way they approached the romance. We are at war. Maybe
Yes,
this isn't the best.
and I like
time.
that. I do like that Katara even straight up like calls him out on it, where she's like, "I just said I was confused. What are you doing?" And like, it's not like romance is the. Sure, it's there in the background, but like they're at war with the Fire Nation. You know.
How far are you, Billy? Have you watched it continued at all?
I think I'm through the first few. I have not. I haven't picked it back up. I've had a couple other things going on.
Did you hate it already?
I don't. Oddly, I don't hate it. No,
Oh, okay.
I don't hate it. It has yet to suck me in. I'm waiting to be sucked, but I'm not.
As
there
we
yet.
learn
Yeah.
how much suck could
Season
Billy.
1.
Well, they bend the air, right? So that's
Yes.
suck me in.
He's a
Avatar.
child. I just want you to know this.
Okay.
I would say season 1,
And flagged.
the one that really like the first one that really gets you intrigued, at least for me, was probably where they go to Roku's island to figure out that thing. And then he's like, I don't know if I'll be able to master all 4 elements. And he's like, you've done it before 1,000 lifetimes. And then he comes out and he's Roku. That's the first time in the whole first season where I was like, whoa, that's pretty cool. And then the season finale as well was really, really hooked you in. But season 2, it gets so much more, I don't know what the word is, but like it becomes way more character driven. And
When does Toph come in?
Toph comes in episode 5 of season 2.
That's great.
But like Zuko alone, I just watched that one because we're like halfway through season 2 now, and Zuko alone is like one of the best episodes ever for me. It's almost entirely focused on him with his flashbacks back to the Fire Nation, and it's like plays out like an old Western. He goes to confront those Earth Kingdom like bullies, you know, and he's like losing, and it's got like the tumbleweed and all that. But that one's really good. And then also the Avatar and the Fire Lord in season 3 is a really good character driven episode.
You guys keeping up with Invincible?
No,
I have
actually.
not.
I need to get on. I need to watch that too. It's a few
Well,
things.
they did a partial release, so there's only 4 episodes out right now.
Azula always lies.
Yeah. That one
Hot.
it's such a the Azula always lies. It's such a it shows how fucked Zuko was by his family, his dad, and his mom is really the only one that cared for him.
See, here's a children's story that doesn't involve the girlfriend at the kitchen table. Okay.
Yeah, Zuko's talking about
And
his
it actually is good. Imagine that.
I don't know who you're trying to prove a point to.
Well, you guys.
You're not
seemingly
gonna
aren't
ever
listening.
come to your way of thinking. You will never convince us that Spider-Man isn't
He's
amazing.
like, see?
I don't even know what I'm yelling at this point.
It's just mad.
I just hate fall. Yeah. Anyway, I'm not. Let's new tropes.
But yeah, the Azula always lies quote. That's where it's like a flashback where Azula's like, you know, Dad's gonna kill you, because he actually was going to kill Zuko. And then he like runs away as a little kid, and he's like, Azula always lies, Azula, because he's like freaking out, and he's like, Azula always lies, Azula always lies. And then it flashes back to him like in modern times, laying there like in the grass, and he's just saying Azula always lies. Like you could tell how fucked it like his whole life has been. Really feel for that's the first episode where you were like where you start to see like, oh, okay, so he's gonna have a redemption arc. Like
He's not just a bad guy.
yeah.
What are your thoughts on Draco Malfoy
Like as a character or Tom Felton the actor?
as a character?
Interesting. We actually just listened to the audiobooks, me and Tori, for the first one, and we're about halfway through the second one. I would say that Draco Malfoy as a character, it's definitely not on the level of Zuko or anything, but I do love when he finally comes like kind of full circle in the sixth book, and how conflicted he is about being forced to kill Dumbledore, and like he has that whole like breakdown in the tower, and then Dumbledore is like talking to him, and it shows that not everyone is evil. Like sometimes they're just products of their surroundings. But Zuko, his whole character arc, I think, is probably the best ever written arc for
Like a redemption arc?
not just like a redemption arc, but his arc in general is like right up there with like the top 5 greatest character arcs in like narrative for me. It's that level.
Draco didn't kill Dumbledore though. Ultimately, right? It was Snape.
No, Snape.
And then that's why the Elder Wand
Didn't
responded ultimately to
It actually responded to Draco.
because Draco then killed Snape. Or
Well,
how did
so the
I
wand,
can't remember how it all
the
worked.
wand did respond to Draco because Draco's the one that
Disarmed.
disarmed.
Yeah, thank you.
Dumbledore.
Okay, so it wasn't who killed it, just disarmed. That's right. That's
yeah,
right.
and then Voldemort misunderstood how
How
it
that
worked,
worked.
and he thought because Snape killed Dumbledore, it responded to Snape.
That's
Yeah,
yes. Thank you.
but it actually never belonged to Snape.
And then Harry disarmed Draco at some point, and then the Elder Wand was his, right? At the end?
And then Harry at the Malfoy Manor disarmed Draco, and so technically it belonged to Harry before it ever even was in his hands.
That's weird.
And he disarmed him by like literally just like grabbing it from him and like pulled his wand away, and that was counting as disarming. So if you're holding the Elder Wand and someone comes and forcibly takes it away from you, that counts as disarming it.
Damn.
It's not just a spell.
Wands are fickle.
The wand chooses the wizard.
Obviously not if you get disarmed, it's like, fuck you.
No, if you get disarmed, it's like, I choose this guy because
Yeah.
you're fucking weak.
Well, then also too, like the wand chooses the wizard, but then can't you like change it out? Doesn't he ask like? Obviously, Harry had like a pretty magnificent reaction when he grabbed his wand, but like, can't you say no? I want another one.
I
don't
don't
think-
think you have a choice.
Really?
Yeah, I really don't. I think that
I feel like in the Hogwarts Legacy game, you could re-roll even though it was like.
probably
that's a
just
game.
for game,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but like in like actual
know if
canon
the-
lore,
It does choose you.
it chooses you, and you just have to deal with whatever wand chose you.
Jingleby says, well, Beatrix got disarmed, but it still didn't want to respond to somebody else.
Well, maybe one like the Elder Wand, because it was developed by those 3 brothers or whatever, followed different rules.
Maybe the wand knows you. I don't know. Who knows?
The Elder Wand doesn't maybe because it's supposed to be passed down generation to
It's
generation.
easier to.
It follows a different set of rules.
What are the rules of Harry Potter?
You know what?
Wands?
We're talking about like rules when it's a world full of wizards casting spells hidden in plain sight. Like, let's not read in too much about it.
You can own a wand, but not be connected to it.
Kind of like how
Like
I feel
Bluetooth?
about.
My Bluetooth has no connection.
Yeah, Bellatrix. You said Beatrix, and I was for a second I was like, "Who's Beatrix?"
Oh, I was just reading the comment.
Yeah.
And then Ron's wand was a hand-me-down, and it's never really worked for him.
It's
And
how
then
they
it-
could nerf his Weasley blood. Pure
And then
blood.
it broke too, and then he was working with a broken wand for like before he finally in the 3rd book, I think. in the
Ron
3rd
was
one.
such a middle child.
He was. His little sister got so much praise from his parents too.
And the older brothers were like had this amazing identity,
Yeah.
and there was Ron, little sad boy energy running around.
You know, one thing I am realizing though, after like listening to the books, is Ron is such a better written character in the books than he is in the movies.
Damn.
In the movies, he's very like, he almost is like played off as like the comedic relief of the
Yes.
three, you know, and like he always comes across as
dork,
like a wimp and a
idiot.
dork, and he's always like freaking out. In the books, he's like way more of a valuable asset to the team. He's constantly coming up with good ideas. He's super brave. He is like, yeah, and then like I don't know why in the movies he's very similar in the movies in a lot of ways, but in some of the more critical aspects of Ron, they just leave out in the movies, and I don't know why.
I think it's probably because they didn't get Ed Sheeran to play him. And that's
That
clearly what
could
they
be
should've-
it.
Because he was around.
Yeah.
That could be it.
Yeah, the movies don't do any of the characters justice. Like the movies are good on their own, but when you compare them to the books, the characters are just written so much better, especially Dumbledore. Like I never once watching the movies got the impression of like, holy shit, this guy is like on another level. In the books, anytime he displays any kind of power, it's like everyone just
Profound.
like is like gets their, mind blown. He's just that powerful. Like especially the battle between him and Voldemort in the 5th book. In the movie, it's okay. In the book, it's crazy. Like Dumbledore is making statues come to life and start attacking Voldemort, and like he's like they're blasting things back in milliseconds. Like literally walls are crumbling and shattering, and he's throwing Voldemort across the map.
Oh,
and
he
then
was
like
owning Voldemort, huh?
like he was clearly winning, but it was a very but it was so much more.
Wonder how
like,
much that was constrained by
Harry-
the times.
They even said Harry could just being near that could feel the power holding him against the wall, with how much every one of their blasts was damage was doing. And in the movie, it's an okay battle, but you don't get that sense of holy shit, this is another level.
Yeah.
Because up until then, it's just students.
I don't even know if I
you
remember them two fighting.
It's not. It's
What is
okay.
the scene?
It's in the Ministry of Magic.
Voldemort's in the Ministry of Magic?
Yeah, in the 5th one.
And Harry's there, and he's kind of hiding.
And then Voldemort starts possessing Harry, and he's like, "You've lost, old man," laying on the floor.
I don't really remember that. I guess I never. I thought the first time he steps into Hogwarts is that last final push that he has, when they cross the bridge.
And also, Jingle Bees brings up a good point. Hermione, in the movies, she a lot of her really good lines in the movies were actually Ron's.
Huh.
But when they created the movies, they really wanted to sell Hermione in a way that people would like, I guess. But so instead they sacrificed the character of Ron for Hermione, whereas in the book, Hermione she's even more intelligent in the books, if that's if you could believe that. And one of the things, even in the first one that they leave out entirely, is when they're finding the when they go to Quirrell and he's got Voldemort in the back of his head in the first one, they leave out a whole section where there's also a logic test where they have to solve a puzzle and drink the right potion, otherwise they'll die. And Hermione's the one that solved it, and she told them exactly what needed to be done, and it was this advanced riddle. And the reason that wizards can't get past that is because they rely so much on their magic that they don't think about things logically. And she, Hermione was like, "Well, this is easy," and she tells them, and everyone's looking at her like, "What the hell?" How did she know this? And so they just in the movies, they, for sake of time, they kind of just gloss over a lot of things. And also, Dumbledore was the one that saved Harry. You know, in the movie, he touches him and he just turns to dust. That is not what happens in the book. In the book, he touches him and it burns him, but it doesn't kill him. And he's is wrecking Harry, and he's about to kill him. And Dumbledore is the one that swoops in and destroys him and saves Harry.
Huh.
Yeah, and they just leave that out in the movie. Now I'm going on a rant about the differences between a movie and book, but
Wow. Sounds quite different. You never read the books either, Billy?
I did when I was a kid.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I did when I was a kid.
So do you remember a lot of what he's talking about?
No.
This
We read them as nighttime stories. I mean, I was, Jesus Christ, like 8, 10. I don't remember. I was a kid.
yeah.
And we only read through them once. I know a lot of people read through them like multiple times.
Yeah,
Well-
she's wildly smart in the books, and it makes her arrogant, unlikable. She actually, that's another thing. Both Harry and Ron hate Hermione in the first one, and they don't even. Both of them are like mean to her because of how she portrays herself, and they don't even. Both of them don't even become friends with her till like chapter 11. She's like a tertiary character that they both don't like until like after the troll incident, and then she becomes one of the three. And in the movie, they kind of gloss over that a little bit.
Doesn't she turn a lady into a bug and keep her in a jar?
Yeah.
Or the lady turns into a bug and she traps her in a jar.
Yeah, the lady's Rita Skeeter. She's an animagus, and she could turn into a beetle or something, and she traps her in a jar, which wasn't for months. Everybody's like, she's a psychopath. She kept her in that jar for months. It was like not even that long. Like somehow that's always misinterpreted.
Just a couple weeks, no big deal.
I don't think it was even a couple weeks, to be honest. I'm going to look it up right now. How long was Rita Skeeter in the jar? A few days. All right. That's it.
No big deal.
A few days. Everyone always is like saying like it's like months for some reason. I was like, that doesn't even make sense on the timeline. But all right.
They're dramatic like me.
So to wrap it up, one last thing I wanted to talk about is I went and saw Godzilla -1, and I wanted to do a quick review on it.
Yeah, how was it?
It was really good. Kyle, I was talking to Billy before you got here, but as a Godzilla fan, and I am like a big Godzilla fan, that is probably my favorite interpretation of the atomic breath
Yeah.
yet I've seen. It was so cool. So what it is now, I'll talk about the movie in a sec, but I got to tell Kyle. So it's, he glows, his spine glows, and then when he blows his breath, it shoots it looks like a breath, and then it shoots, you just see this and then at where he's aiming, basically a nuke explodes.
What?
It is so cool.
I
And
gotta see this.
they do it multiple times. After the podcast, I'll have Billy try and look it up so you guys can see it. But they show it like 2 or 3 times, and it's so cool. And so, but the movie itself, really good. It's a Japanese film. It's the Japanese, their Godzilla. So it's not related to the American MonsterVerse at all.
Kind of a reboot of the whole franchise, right?
Kind of. Well, it's from what I've heard, it's the prequel to the very first Godzilla from 1954 or whenever that really the very first one came out. But it follows the story of a ex-kamikaze pilot, and it takes place days after World War II, and it kind of follows his journey and how he keeps running into Godzilla, and he has a hero's journey, he has a character arc, and it was just really good because it made Godzilla scary, which is I love the American version because they're turning him into an anti-hero, and I like to see giant monster fight giant monster. Like that's, my brain gets happy when that happens. But this is a much more compelling story, honestly, than some of those ones. But they make him scary. They give the human characters actual purpose of we need to take down Godzilla, rather than whatever Millie Bobby Brown was doing with the computer in Godzilla vs. Kong, spilling
alcohol
on it. Yeah. And then Godzilla, his design, I do like the American version. Again, I'm gonna have to separate them because the American, they're going for a different thing. He's supposed to be, you're supposed to relate to him. He's supposed to be an animal. This one, he looks creepy, and he looks very alien, and it worked really well because he's very almost robotic or stiff, and he never blinks, and it's creepy, but it's meant to be that way. And so he doesn't look like a normal animal.
It's like a horror film.
It's definitely yeah. And I mean, you think, I won't spoil it, but you think everything ties up nicely. It doesn't.
It doesn't happen.
But it does for a little bit, and then you're like, oh. But even how they come up with like their plan to kill Godzilla is really original. It's like they can't use conventional means to kill him, so they come up with this elaborate plan in like 1948 of how to kill Godzilla, and it's like, okay. And yeah, just Godzilla in that one, he's really cool.
What's crazy is that movie had like a $12 million budget.
Yeah.
And it looks good. Like on 12 million, and versus, our monster movies have $200 million budgets. Like,
but
so
I did see a good like explanation, not explanation, but a good reason for that is sadly, Japanese film companies don't have the best reputation for grind and for overworking employees. So probably the reason they were able to stay on that budget and get it as good as it looked is because those people did not go home for forever.
That's kind of I'm not trying to call any cultures out or anything like that, but I feel like that's a bit of the reputation with Japanese work culture is like they like live to work, and versus us to a lesser extent, and like other countries, like that's not like that at all.
Yeah,
but like it's very common for them to just an average job work 80 hours a week sometimes.
Yeah. They put job highest priority.
Yeah.
But movie was great. I'd recommend if you like Godzilla and if you are okay with subtitles. I know that's a big turnoff for a lot of people. I would recommend to go see it. Especially, I would say go see it if you can in a movie theater with good speakers. I went and saw it in the Dolby Atmos at our local theater here, and the sound design was great. Rating Godzilla's roars, I still think the American version is my favorite, but it's pretty scary. They made his roar more scary than like
powerful.
And
well, also
it works.
The American Godzilla is like 500 times bigger.
Oh yeah.
than this one's big, but like Godzilla in the MonsterVerse, it's laughable how fucking big they are. Like they're literally like they're insanely big.
Yeah. And that's part of why I like the MonsterVerse is just how they're like, let's make him bigger. And then they even made Kong. They're like, we need to make him bigger.
Yeah, Kong's got to be ginormous too.
So now they're huge versus King Kong originally used to be just like a slightly bigger gorilla.
For reference, King Kong in Peter Jackson's King Kong was 25 feet tall. King Kong, I think in Godzilla vs. Kong was 300 feet tall.
Yeah.
Growth spurt.
Yeah, he's grown.
But yeah, I'd recommend go see it. Really good movie, and especially if you're in, that's actually the first Japanese Godzilla I've seen.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I've seen bits and pieces of the old Godzillas.
You watched Shin Godzilla?
Huh?
Did you watch Shin Godzilla?
No, but I want to.
It's good.
Shin Godzilla is also another horror. I know pretty much all about
Godzilla's starting to be a bad guy again, which is fine because he can be a hero in the MonsterVerse and be a bad guy in the Japanese.
Well, and that's how he originally started out. He was a villain. He was supposed to be like something scary, but then they kind of got silly with it, and they're like, let's have him fight other monsters.
Literally what they're doing with the MonsterVerse right now.
Yep.
The very first one that came out in 2014 was more grounded with Bryan Cranston, and it was almost like a horror aspect of it a little bit too. And then they're going the route of now it's just getting like it's the Fast and Furious of the monster films.
Roll them out.
You know what though? It still makes more sense than Fast and Furious.
Family.
Family can do anything.
That's what they're screaming at each other, Kong and Godzilla, when they're fighting.
Family.
What's Batman's? Batman's mom.
Why'd you say their name?
Yeah, Martha.
Why'd you say Martha?
That's what Godzilla and Kong are yelling.
He said Mothra.
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 Billy, you look lost.
No, I'm just enjoying this conversation. Godzilla. He's got one move.
I'm
Stomp
excited.
and breath.
Yeah.
2 moves.
Picks up a bus and he throws it back down.
They made his arms longer now so he can punch.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, actually, in Shin Godzilla, I wasn't a fan of the design of Godzilla because he had the tiniest, most pointless, useless T-Rex arms. And that's what I liked about the MonsterVerse Godzilla is his arms are actually like usable. And in Godzilla -1, his arms are actually not.
They are still kind of useless. I can probably count on a single finger the times he used it. Because he mostly used his mouth.
Yeah, well,
You know,
that's what T-Rexes did.
and he used his tail
Good stuff.
and his feet. No reason why he was attacking Japan, which thinking about now, it's like,
Because he's evil. in
yeah,
this
he
version.
just was
He's
like,
a monster.
I want to destroy. But one part I've left out is Godzilla's the origin of him in this one is pretty cool too. He's like an ancient T-Rex that survived on an island and then he gets nuked. And that's why he turned
The
into,
radiation.
Yeah. And then he's much more of a biological horror like Shin Godzilla
Yeah.
in this than like MonsterVerse where he's just a giant animal. No,
This
this
one
he's
is-
like a mutated freak.
Freak.
Love that line from Batman.
Yeah.
So good. Where can people find us?
They can find us on Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, any major podcast listening platform you listen to, where we're under the KD Ratio Podcast.
Yeah.
Give us a like, subscribe,
Yeah.
leave a comment.
Smash
Come
it.
join us in chat here, and we'll talk to you guys.
Look at that.
Have a good time, and let us know if you would sponsor us money wise to go to the Game Awards next year.
Let us know.
Let us know.
If you listen to this episode on Spotify and you're missing a lot of context, then how about next time hop over on YouTube so you can get an idea of
Yeah,
what we're doing.
Tuesdays, 7 p.m. No,
Yeah.
7 p.m. Pacific time, United States time zone.
Is that
You
daylight
just,
savings time or standard time?
What?
Is that Pacific Daylight Savings Time or Standard Time?
Well, right now we are in daylight savings time.
No, we're not.
We are not in daylight savings time. So
Congratulations.
Pacific Standard Time.
You
Yes.
played yourself.
I played myself. Another one.
Another one.
It's PDT right now.
PDT.
PST
Well,
in March.
you heard it from
That's
Billy.
important stuff to know.
You need to know all of our international
Get
listeners.
shit on. All right. I can't believe I just said that.
All right.
Gross.
Well,
With the good to KD,
you get the dub.
you get the dub.
You get the dub.
You get the
Nice,
dub.
thanks, Kyle. 7 times. Thank you.
You get the dub. Bye.